Today's topic is for all of you disciple makers in training. We're going to talk about creating a discipleship plan. And now, this is something that is fundamental to being intentional about making a full circle follower of Jesus. A discipleship plan is typically a 1 year pathway that maps out topics that you intend to cover with the person that you're mentoring, or maybe if you're doing it in a group, with the small group that you're mentoring. Now, this isn't intended to be, like the Bible, like you can't veer off of this pathway. But I think creating a pathway is helpful. So let's go back to that training image, right? You're inviting, you're investing, and you're empowering to make a full circle follower of Jesus. So you've got these three phases. You've got the inviting phase, using topics to get them engaged. Then you've got the investing phase where you're really doing the heavy lifting and covering some topics with them. And then you have the empowering phase where you're going to send them out to make disciples. So let's line up these phases and I'll show you how you can convert this into a discipleship plan. Now, in phase one, I'm going to break that down into two parts. The first part, the first topics I'm going to cover, I'm just going to call those the preliminary topics, right? So these are topics that I'm covering to get them engaged. We're covering topics from anywhere on the site that are interesting to them, that really sort of scratch where they're itching. So those are my preliminary topics. That might be a few weeks, it might be a few months, it might even be a year or so. The second part of phase one, at some point, I want to bring them through Faith 101, because that's where they're going to learn how to trust Jesus for salvation. So remember, all pathways eventually lead through Faith 101, because I want to introduce to them, the full circle idea. I want to introduce to them really the concept of trusting in Jesus for salvation. So that's sort of the most important part of phase one. Now, phase two, then, after I've done that, also breaks down into two separate parts. Again, it might be 3 parts or 4 parts, but I'm just trying to give you a really basic, sort of the simplest discipleship plan. And I'm going to show it to you as if I'm discipling some guys, some men. So I like to cover Men's 101, and then after that, Theology 101, because this is going to help them to honor God. Men's 101, those are the 10 topics that really help a guy to honor God in his life, to live a lifestyle that honors God. So they're sort of man-specific topics. That's what I like about the Men's 101. And Theology 101 is going to give, the guys some basic doctrine that I want to make sure that they understand as a basis for honoring God in their life. So in this second phase, I'm going to, cover these 10 topics. So actually it's 20 topics, because each 101 series represents 10 different topics from that particular section. So this might be how it looks if I'm discipling a guy or a men's group. And then in the final phase, phase 3, obviously, I'm going to bring them through Training 101, because Training 101, those are the 10 basic topics that help that person to learn how to use the Pursue God tools to go out and make disciples. And so taken together, and again, this is just a sample plan. This might be my plan. It's probably going to take 40 weeks, less than a year. And I'm going to intentionally bring another guy or my men's group through this plan to help this person go full circle. Remember, the goal isn't to bring them through all the topics. It's to bring them around the circle. I'm trying to make a full circle follower of Jesus here. That's what you're trying to do. So if you're discipling a woman or a student, or maybe you're doing some marriage mentoring with another couple, in phase 2, instead of Men's 101, you might choose Women's 101 or Students 101 or Young Adults, or one of those series. And then the second part of phase 2, maybe you're going to do something on addiction or some other 101 series that makes sense to help them around the circle. So back to that image, right? We're helping somebody go full circle. And the two, key 101 series you want to make sure to cover at some point are Faith 101 and Training 101. But those other topics and series fit in as you're trying to help that person pursue God. Trust Jesus, honor God, and then make disciples. So remember this, the goal is to create a full circle follower. So start with a plan. And this is something that we will help you do. In fact, I encourage you with your trainer right now to download that PDF, maybe print out that PDF and spend some time, pray through this, and write out a preliminary plan. What do you intend to do with someone, with a small group or a mentor, someone you're mentoring? Sort of map out that plan. Again, don't be legalistic about following that plan over the next 40 to 50 weeks, but it really will help you to stay intentional and fill that out as you move forward to help somebody pursue God.